I'm Joe Giglio for NJ Sports Now on this Tuesday, July the 7th. Last night, Major League Baseball announced the reserves for the All-Star Game coming up next week in Cincinnati. And one of the biggest snubs, if not the biggest snub, at least in the American League, was Alex Rodriguez. Yes, A-Rod, a guy that used to be a staple of All-Star Games, a staple of being voted in as an All-Star Game starter. That wasn't going to happen this year, probably no matter what he did on the field, because there's still enough dislike for A-Rod out there that few fans are going to step up and vote him into the All-Star Game. But based on his season, he does deserve to be there. And people looking for reasons why, people looking for reasons and answers on why A-Rod's not in the All-Star Game, didn't even make the final vote for the All-Star Game, which seems egregious based on the season he has had so far. Been an excellent player for the Yankees. They would not be where they are at right now, leading the American League East, without the contributions of Alex Rodriguez. There are a couple factors here. Number one, he didn't get votes. He wasn't right behind the leader for DH and Nelson Cruz. He was farther behind. Number two, the biggest reason, I think at least, is the roster construction in the American League. The roster construction really for all All-Star games. Now, it's not about bringing the best 34 players. That's not what the All-Star game is about. Perhaps that should be what it's about, but since they changed the rules, since they made the game matter, and since they really didn't want to tie in one of these games anymore, the way they had 2002 in Milwaukee, these managers, Ned Yost in particular here for the American League, who said he really struggled with the A-Rod non-selection, these managers now try to build a team the way they're going to manage one game. So what do you do in that case? You bring versatile players, you bring guys that can play multiple positions, you bring guys you could sub in and out, and you bring a ton of relief pitchers. So if you look at the American League roster right now, you won't see Alex Rodriguez's name, but you'll see Wade Davis, a setup man for the Royals. You see Kelvin Herrera, a 6th, 7th inning man for the Royals. Obviously, Yost guys out there in Kansas City, but he knows what they could do in those roles in the middle or late in the game, and they can go to some high-profile closures after that. You'll also see a player in Brock Holt, the only Red Sox representative. He's a super utility guy, could play all over the field. What you won't see is a player of A-Rod's caliber, and those guys, Herrera and Brock Holt, are not of that star caliber. They aren't the guy in Alex Rodriguez this year that is one of only 14 hitters in Major League Baseball with an OPS over 900. 13 of those guys are going to the All-Star game. A-Rod, the only hitter in Major League Baseball with an OPS over 900, not on the All-Star game roster. A .390 on-base percentage is good for 6th in the AL. His slugging, .513, good for 11th in the AL. That OPS, good for 8th in the AL. He has been excellent at the dish this year. Everything and more the Yankees could have wanted. He deserves to be in the All-Star game. He is one of the best 34 players in the American League this year, but the way they construct the rosters and the lack of fan support for A-Rod doomed him this time. He was once a staple. Now he can't get his way in, no matter how well he plays.